everybody. We are here at Gillette Stadium hosting an episode of BUZZWORTHY with CallFinder. And for our next episode, we have Sam Petersen here. Sam is a client-facing analyst at CallFinder. You've been with the company nearly 6 years, as I understand, and you focus on client success and solution implementation.
Yes.
Do I have that correct?
Correct.
Okay, awesome. I've been told your secret weapons here, some of your key strengths. You are the translator between client pain points and CallFinder solutions. And you play a very critical role in transforming contact centers from manual QA to an automated proactive process.
Definitely.
So what can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so, with that process, it's really taking what a client is doing day to day and transposing that into our system so that we can automate it and be able to have that, scoring 100% of their calls and taking some of that ownership off their plate and really automating that process for them.
Awesome. So talk to me about the different types of industries that you support.
Yeah, I support the home improvement space, credit unions. I also have a medical client as well in the scheduling space and collections too.
Oh, interesting.
So a whole variety of different industries there that I work with.
Interesting. So how do you see right now the impact of technology? How do you see it, across the board? It's impacting different verticals in different ways. What are some of your thoughts around that?
Yeah, so for verticals in terms of technology, for like our service, everyone can use it in different ways. I have some clients who are, they really like to get reporting out of it. So they want reports sent to them, be able to see top line performance in that sense. And then I have some clients that are more so a little more hands-on in logging in more regularly. And we have a new coaching module that we released as well. Oh. So with that coaching module, they're able to send calls directly to agents, feedback, point out exactly where they want them to improve, or also where people are doing great. That's another piece for a client. I added a line just for kind of above and beyond phrasing where someone just that was awesome, perfect, you went above and beyond, or phrasing around those lines to also point out to areas where people are doing a super job. So, for clients in terms of technology, everyone kind of uses the platform a little bit differently. Is that what you were kind of thinking in mind?
Yeah, I'm just thinking is the platform, does it adjust and adopt? And I know you have a very consultative approach and you do things very customized, very tailored to every client that you work with. So I was just wondering, is there differences between the industries as you see it?
Between the industries, I think everyone does use it kind of in their own way. I'm trying to think if the credit unions all have maybe their key ways of utilizing the service versus home improvement or scheduling.
So it's almost funny though, because there's so many sort of common denominators across the industry, and then there's really specifics and verticals. So
yeah.
So you're sort of in that unique position. So I thought I would ask. So let's talk a little bit about your day-to-day. So as a client-facing analyst, what's your day-to-day look like?
Yeah, day-to-day, I meet with my clients on a regular basis. So also, if I'm in an implementation, onboarding a client, those tend to be, we're meeting on a weekly basis. So it tends to be very engaging during that implementation process. Post-implementation, I like to meet with clients bi-weekly. So I still have a pulse with them. We can chat, things change. There's new updates to scorecards, more trainings needed, things of that nature. And also just being able to build rapport with clients and just chat about life for a little bit and see how they're doing and keep connected in that way as well. So day to day, meeting with clients, but also working on projects for them that they have, different scorecard changes, insight changes, and other metrics in our platform too.
Very hands-on, and I love that. So, I think why that really resonates with me is that we've heard it's very common for organizations to feel burned by technology providers, right? To feel like the tech didn't quite work as it was promised. And, how do you feel that you make that CallFinder makes that a little bit different. And what I'm hearing, really, it sounds like you are built on a very solid level of trust.
Definitely. And I think that being able to meet consistently with clients, and we don't leave a client hanging, once they sign. It's like, oh yeah, we're implemented and here's the manual and have at it. We're there for the longevity of the account, as well as, when we release new features like our coaching module, it was, well, I already meet bi-weekly. Hey, how are you all doing? We have a new feature I'm going to showcase to you all today. Here's some of the ways that we can utilize it. Here's some ways that other clients are utilizing it. So also being able to bring experience from other clients and bring that to other clients of mine to kind of raise everybody up from shared practices that I see kind of across the board there.
So that's an interesting sort of community approach then, that your clients can share and learn from one another in that way. That's lovely. I think that having that continuity and knowing that you're available and
there's no ticketing
accessible,
service with us.
That's amazing.
It's my email. That's how everyone reaches out to me. Yep, exactly.
I love that. I love that. So CallFinder that's part of your secret sauce, right? You pair every client with a dedicated analyst, just like yourself. So that ongoing sort of consultative model that really must help with your long-term client retention strategy.
Definitely.
Right? And your value delivery. So what's the average tenure?
Average tenure for clients or for analysts or for
the client side?
For client side, I mean, I have a client I've been with since I started 6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I've been meeting with them continually since. So really, once someone signs, it's, I forget the exact terms that we usually do. I think 18 is kind of standard, 2-year terms. We have clients that sign for 3-year terms and then continually renew after that. So it was just fantastic to be able to build a relationship with someone for that long, because we're in it for the partnership.
I think it's really critical right now, too, that clients can really bond with their technology partners as this explosion is happening. You've got to really be with people in the trenches that you really know, like, and trust, right?
Definitely.
So what would you say is the most rewarding part of your job, where you really feel that you make the biggest difference?
Rewarding part for me is... it might be a broken record, but I really do love meeting with clients. It's fun to have a connection with clients, be able to see how they're doing bi-weekly. And when we have new features that come out, being able to, hey, we got some new stuff, things like that. Or any projects that someone has, being able to really build that relationship long-term, for me, is one of the most rewarding parts of the job there.
So you've helped many contact centers shift from a manual QA to an automated solution. What are some of the most common fears you hear or objections about switching, making that switch, and how do you overcome them?
Yeah, I think some of the fears or objections would be, time tends to be a common one I hear. Oh, yes, that's great. I don't have time, things of that nature. And one of the ways that we're working to overcome that is with the coaching module. We can keep all of that communication inside the platform there. So it is just a matter of, okay, I'm logged in. I can send this call directly to the agent. They can respond back. All that communication is going to be saved in there, and we'll keep that longevity right there. So I always have to say, we make supervisors, managers, we make everybody more efficient to be able to overcome that. So yeah, time is something I hear, and it's, yes, but the time that you're in our platform and the reports that you're getting is going to be so much more efficient and effective than had you just been doing it manually or cherry picking calls in that sense.
So I've heard this term with some of your colleagues, that random reactive. Does that resonate with you?
Yes, definitely.
I feel like that fits in just perfectly right here in this part of that. So what's that look like in practice? Just getting ahead of it? Getting ahead of it,
I'd say, and really having a consistent, clear process for clients is something we work to build with them, so that, they get into that rhythm, that habit, and really improving the customer experience as a whole through that.
Awesome. So I know that one of your strong verticals is with credit unions.
Yeah.
And credit unions, contact centers typically deal with very high churn rates. And I think credit unions are a little different when they typically have a little bit more longer tenured staff. So how does your approach adapt to different cultures and sort of workforce dynamics? And I think credit unions are also interesting in the sense that they, their clients, their customers are really they're members, right?
Yeah.
So they have a stake in the game.
And
How
that
is
is
that different? Because that feels very much on point for how your approach is. So I feel like that's a good, excellent fit.
I think you hit it right on the head. Like, when I work with the client, I always look to adopt the lingo that they use in their center. And for credit unions, they don't call them agents typically, or they call them reps or representatives. For customers, it's not customers, it's members.
Yes.
So they do change the language. So I look to adapt to that when speaking with them there. But I mean, the credit union space as a whole, I think the churn rate to me looks lower because it definitely feels more kind of community based. And I mean, with the credit union being also a community based bank, I think that also builds rapport there. And the staff tends to have a longer tenure in these branches, I would say, which is awesome to see and hear from the credit unions. But did that kind of help to answer, you think, the question there, or were you kind of looking for more?
I have a very soft spot for credit unions because I feel like they have a big challenge to compete with the bigger banks and the bigger players and all the bells and whistles and all the technology, and yet they are super focused on the experience and they have to wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a challenge, but I think it's a great problem to have. And I've also seen many credit unions, I mean, even at a show like this, almost apologize for their size because they feel like they're, too small.
Oh, we're not big enough. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, we only have 16 agents, or oh, we only have. So, but from my understanding, you scale and you work with all sizes.
Yeah.
Right. So good things come in small packages. And
Definitely.
You're definitely very accessible for credit unions of really any size.
Yes, and that's a great point. I mean, the credit union space, the customer service is so important because it's critical for those institutions because, I mean, that is the bread and butter is to keep members happy. You're a local community, credit union. So that experience is definitely critical.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so last question. You've been a great guest on Buzzworthy today. So last question. If a new client came to you today, skeptical but interested, so if someone approached your booth, what's the one thing you'd want them to understand about what you do and what CallFinder delivers?
I think for us, the biggest piece I really want to convey to them is the automation of the QA process. Not necessarily, all the calls that you're missing, that you don't have insights into, and then the analyst support really is key for us. Being able to have someone that understands your industry, that can assist with the platform, not because it's difficult, but be able to onboard you and be there long term and be able to help. One of my clients, I love the line she used. She talked to another client or prospect and she said, you know what, any pain point that I have, I just give to Sam. And I'll just say, he can figure it out. He knows the platform through and through. I'll give him the pain point. He'll work through it and be able to provide me results and whatnot there. So I think that really is the biggest piece for us and how I would overcome that piece there.
Well, that truly speaks volumes. She's got complete trust and confidence in you.
100%.
That's amazing. That must make you feel really good.
No, it's great. Always hearing kudos from clients is fantastic.
That's
it's always satisfying.
Well, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me
today. Thank you.
Appreciate it.